This is KVUE News Daybreak.
Austin City officials heading to federal court today. The legislation passed at the Capitol they're hoping to have repealed.
And the U.S.'s decision to pull out of the Paris Climate Accord getting reaction across the globe. What world leaders are saying about President Trump's order.
Coming together to help a community in need, how Wimberley residents are helping a restaurant destroyed by fire rebuild, and how you can do your part. Good morning to you, and thank you for joining us. For KVUE News Daybreak at 5 a.m., I'm Brian May.
And I'm Yvonne Nava. It is Friday, June 2nd. We're already in this month. And let's see what we're tracking outside. It seems a little, stifling still outside there. But Erica, are things going to change or stay the same?
Well, we're expecting conditions to pretty much stay the same today into the rest of the weekend. It feels like June out there. Temperatures in the mid-70s for some this morning. 74 right now in Kingsland, Marble Falls. You're going to feel the heat and the humidity as you step out the door. Dew points are close to the temperatures also. 75 right now for Austin. The eastern counties, a few of you are at the 70-degree mark, but for the most part, we're a couple degrees warmer than that. This is what I'm talking about in terms of the humidity factor that you're going to feel once you step out the door. Dew points all in the 70s for the most part across the entire viewing area. But most importantly, let's talk about your weekend forecast as we plan out the next few days. Today, a small 20% chance of an isolated shower. That's going to be the same thing tomorrow. The majority of you guys not going to see anything, but all of you will feel the heat and the humidity as temperatures will be close to 90 degrees, but we're talking dew points in the 70s all weekend long. A 30% chance for a passing shower on Sunday. Southeast winds are going to keep things muggy, a little bit uncomfortable. Just make sure you're staying cool and hydrated for those outdoor plans this weekend. Anna View today has your travel forecast and current conditions here in terms of commuting for Austin.
I do. Thank you, Erica. Good Friday morning. This is a look at I-35 at Slaughter Lane and at East Old Torf. You can see the roads are open and clear. Traffic is traveling quite smoothly, so if you're hitting the roads this morning, maybe traveling out of town, no worries here. We are monitoring a crash here, and I'll give you those details in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and check out those drive times. I-35 northbound Buda to downtown, 13 minutes, 17 minutes. Round Rock to downtown on I-35 southbound. Yvonne, Brian, back to you.
All right, thank you, Anna. New overnight, one man is in the hospital this morning after a shooting in northwest Austin. Austin police responded to the incident just before 9 p.m. in the parking lot of 7-Eleven on Lake Creek Parkway, just off of 183. Police say people in two different vehicles were arguing, and someone from one car shot a person in the other car before both cars just drove away. Police say the male who was injured was dropped off at the hospital. At this time, it is unclear if officers are searching for anyone or if anyone is in custody here. The condition of the man who was shot is unknown at this time.
Also new overnight, one woman in the hospital after being hit by a car while riding her bike near West Campus. The accident happened just before 3 a.m. on San Jacinto Boulevard off West Dean Keaton Street. Austin Travis County EMS responding to the scene. Officials say a woman in her 30s was transported to Del Seaton Medical Center with potentially serious injuries. Police say the driver of the car was given a ticket and released. They would not say what the ticket was for.
Well, happening today, the city of Austin plans to file a lawsuit in federal court challenging the so-called Sanctuary Cities bill. KVUE's Corey Coffin joins us live this morning where city leaders plan to address the issue later today. Corey.
Well, good morning to both of you. They'll hold a press conference at 11 a.m. here at what's known as MALDEF, the offices for MALDEF. That's the Mexican American Legal Defense and Education Fund. Now, MALDEF has joined the lawsuit that San Antonio filed yesterday. MALDEF, alongside Workers Defense Project, claims that the new law is unconstitutional. Senate Bill 4 requires local police agencies to honor ICE detainees, which are requests from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to hold someone in jail while their immigration status is investigated. The law also allows police to ask people about their immigration status during routine traffic stops, not just after an arrest. Now, the lawsuit that's filed asks the federal court to intervene before the bill goes into effect in September. This is the first time in history that San Antonio is suing the state of Texas, and it comes despite their mayor's opposition. Mayor Ivy Taylor said that the decision to join the lawsuit was premature and should be a last resort for the city of San Antonio. Meanwhile, here in Austin, we've already heard support for challenging SB 4 from Mayor Steve Adler and other community leaders. SB 4 has led to several protests at the Capitol. The latest one started a scuffle after Representative Matt Rinaldi said he called ICE on protesters. Now, the city of Austin and San Antonio also joined El Paso County as well as El Cenizo in challenging SB 4. So we'll hear more today later at 11 a.m. right here. We'll bring you those updates live on air and online. I'm live here in East Austin. Corey Coffin for KVUE News.
Corey, thank you. 5:05 is your time. President Donald Trump's administration is asking the Supreme Court to put the controversial travel ban into effect while the court reviews its legality. And this comes after the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled against the ban, calling it discriminatory. On Thursday, administration lawyers petitioned the court to review the ban, which temporarily blocks people from 6 Muslim-majority countries from coming into the U.S. The administration is also requesting a stay of that court's decision in the meantime, which would require 5 affirmative votes in the Supreme Court.
This morning, President Donald Trump getting a lot of heat after making the decision to pull out of the Paris Climate Accord. ABC's Kenneth Moten explains President Trump's reasons for cutting ties with the nearly 200-nation agreement to fight climate change.
This morning, what's next after President Trump's world power withdrawal?
The United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
Trump called the nearly 200-nation agreement to combat climate change a massive redistribution of wealth to other countries, saying it would hurt the American economy and worker.
I was elected to represent the citizens of Pittsburgh, not Paris.
But the mayor of Pittsburgh sharply disagreed on CNN, sending a message to the president.
What you did was not only bad for the economy of this country, but also weakened America.
New York, California, and Washington state are forming the U.S. Climate Alliance to uphold the Paris Agreement. 61 U.S. mayors pledging to do the same. Trump's decision sparked protests in D.C. and New York. Several big business leaders also weighed in condemning the exit. This morning, one industry praising Trump, coal.
We will see if we can make a deal that's fair.
The leaders of France, Germany, and Italy say the accord cannot be renegotiated. French President Emmanuel Macron spoke in English to simply say this:
make our planet great again.
Big companies like Apple and ExxonMobil said staying in the agreement would make the world more competitive in business. President Obama agreed, saying in a statement nations remaining in the Paris Accord will be the ones that reap the benefits in industries and jobs created. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
Well, former FBI Director James Comey is expected to testify on Capitol Hill next week before the Senate Intelligence Committee. He'll be asked to share details of his conversations with President Donald Trump as part of the investigation on Russia's meddling in the 2016 presidential election. The public hearing is set to begin at 10 a.m. on June 8th. A closed-door session will follow that afternoon.
This morning, there's some promising news for supporters of a former high school student sitting in prison now. In 2014, Greg Kelly convicted of sexually assaulting a 4-year-old boy. Now there's an alternative suspect in the case, Kelly's former friend, Jonathan McCarty. Supporters held a rally last night demanding the courts move quickly in wake of the developments and that Kelly be bonded out while he goes through the process.
We're not going to be patient because it's not like Greg caught some sort of disease. It's not like this just happened to him. We did this to him. We put him in there, and we have a responsibility to get him out now.
Unsealed court documents filed by Kelly's attorneys say they obtained McCarty's cell phone, which showed he had photos of nude children on it. McCarty's in the Williamson County Jail currently on an unrelated charge. District Attorney Sean Dick in Williamson County trying to find a way to move Kelly's hearing up, originally scheduled for the first week in August. The DA says the tips are compelling enough to try to do it more quickly. The DA still has to look at the court schedule, and both sides must also make sure key witnesses are available to testify.
Well, the Wimberley community is trying to help a local business rebuild. A fire destroyed the Cypress Creek Cafe earlier this week, and officials say the fire caused more than $750,000 in damage. A series of benefit concerts are in the works, and so far, more than 30 bands are on board.
Bands were contacting me instantly, the very day, speaking out and wanting to help. The ultimate goal is to see the Cypress Creek Cafe rebuilt.
All right, if you want to know more about how you can help out, there's a GoFundMe page set up for the owners. We have a link on our website, KVUE.com. And now let's check out more of our weekend weather. I'm sure you know the first weekend of summer for a lot of these kids, and there are plenty of plans in the works.
That's for sure. Well, I can promise you one thing. It's going to feel like the start of summer. Temperatures will be on the higher side. Humidity levels also. This is what we're waking up to. Lots of clouds out there. Not much in the form of rain shower activity in our viewing area, though. We have a small 20% chance of a passing shower. But your daytime highs today in the mid to upper 80s, mostly cloudy, a 20% chance of an isolated shower. So I think the majority of you guys will be in the clear. Overnight tonight, it's going to be another sticky night. Temperatures in the 70s. Here's what you're waking up to. Temps in the 70s. The big thing is going to be the humidity factor. So what do I recommend before you head out the door this Friday? Your sunscreen, UV index will still be on the high side. Your sunglasses, you know, just to block the sun, and also your Friday dance moves. I know the Daybreak ladies, we have our Friday dance moves. We were getting ready, you know, so the question is, Brian, do you have your dance moves?
No, I have nothing like that. The men's room looks a lot different in the morning. Let's just put it like that. All right.
Brian.
We were hoping to get your dance moves.
Yeah.
No moves. No moves for me, for sure. Yeah, it's much quieter in the men's room around here.
Your pin drop, yeah.
Game 1 of the NBA Finals is in the books. Golden State looking for the Game 1 trifecta last night. They've won the opener in the NBA Finals against Cleveland the last 2 years, and like most of the games in these playoffs, this one was a blowout, thanks in large part to Kevin Durant. The former Longhorn finished with a game-high 38 points. Steph Curry had 28. He had 6 3-pointers in the ballgame. LeBron James, the lone bright spot for Cleveland. He had 28 to lead the Cavs. LeBron didn't have enough help last night, though. Golden State rolls the defending champs 113-91 to take a 1-game lead in the series. Now, the teams get a couple of days off now to rest up. Game 2 back in Oakland on Sunday night. They'll then head to Cleveland for games 3 and 4 next week. All games of the finals, of course, right here on KVUE.
All right, well, problems on the ocean floor. 25% of the world's fish depend on coral reefs, but now they're dying. What researchers are doing to slow down the process and the impact it could have. And school's out for summer. That means a lot of you are gearing up for vacations. The secret tips you need to know about that could save you money when booking your next trip.